Hello, good evening, and welcome to grade 12 mathematics, looking at WASSCE 2018 question paper. Remember that we've tried to solve questions from 2019, and today we try to solve questions from 2018, starting from question 4. All right. Okay, we'll start off with question 4. 2019 question 4. 2018 rather, question 4. Now in question 4, we have a diagram that looks like this. This is the diagram for question 4. This is the diagram for question 4. This angle is 3x plus 15. This angle is x. And an interesting thing is that it's passing through the center. So this angle will be 90 degrees. And this is QRST. QRST. Now in the diagram, this is a diameter. They said QOS is a diameter. Arrow QS is x degrees and QST is what? 3x degrees. So you should find the value of what? X. Very simple. Now, if you look at this, x plus 90. First of all, I don't know why you were told this is 90, but angle QROS is equal to 90 degrees. Assuming you weren't told that, what's the reason for that? Angle is semicircle. Angle in semicircle. The angle is semicircle. Sometimes you just say semicircle and that will suffice for that. So that's 90 degrees. So you have that x plus 90 will be equal to 3x plus 15. What is the reason for that? The reason for that is very simple. It is what? Exterior angle of what? Triangle. Exterior angle of triangle. So that said, this will now be x plus 90. Okay. Right, so from here, I started by drawing the figure, and this angle is 90 degrees because of this diameter. And we said that the angle is semicircle is the reason for that. Then this x plus 90 will give me this one. Reason being that this exterior angle is equal to the opposite interior. So with that, 3x plus 15 will be equal to x plus 90. And 3x minus x will be equal to 90 minus what? 15. So 2x will now be equal to what? 75 degrees. 2x will be equal to 75 degrees. And then x will be equal to 37.5 degrees. So that will be 37.5 degrees for that one. Now it says find angle. Now Roman figure 2 requires that we should find angle what? ROSQ. Remember that this is Roman figure 1 and we're about to find x. ROSQ. ROSQ. That's this angle here. This is what we're told to look for. Now we don't know that angle, so angle ROSQ plus 3x plus 15 will be equal to 180 degrees. We have already got what x is. So angle ROSQ will now be equal to 180 minus what? 3x plus what? 15. What is that? That will be 180 minus what? 3 times what? 37.5 plus 15. And we will simplify that. What would that give us? This will give us 37.5 times 3. That will give us 5. That will give us 2. That will give us 102, I think, or 112.5. So that will be 180 minus 112.5 plus 15. And that will be 180 minus 127.5. Are we together? So this will give me what? Final answer will be 52.5 degrees. So that angle will now be what? 52.5 degrees. So that is done. Now that's for question 4A, Roman figure 2. Now what about 4B? In 4B, we are told that 2n4 base 7 is equal to 15n base 9. So how do you solve this? It's also quite easy. This will be 2n4 base 7 equal to 15n base 9. This will be 0, 1, 2. This will be 0, 1, 2. So what does this mean? This will now be what? 2 times 7 raised to the power of 2 plus n times 7 raised to the power of 1 plus 4 times 7 raised to the power of 0 equal to 1 times 9 raised to the power of 2 plus 5 times 9 raised to the power of 1 plus n times 9 raised to the power of 0. So what does that give you? This will give you 2 times 49 plus 7n plus 4 times 1, which will be 4, equal to 9 times 81 times 1 plus 45 plus what? N. Because anything raised to the power of 0 is 1. So with that, we have that 98 plus 4 plus 7n will be equal to, when you add these two, you're going to get 126 plus n. So 7n minus n will be equal to 128 minus, when you add these two, you're going to get 102, and 6n will be equal to what? 26. Oh my God, that's right. Please let's check. Oh, 126, because I was wondering, 126, that will give me 24, and n will be equal to what? 4. So n in this arrangement will be equal to what? 4. So that's for question 4B. 4A and 4B has now been solved. All right, with that taken care of, let's go to question 5. Let's go to question 5. Question 5. In question 5, if the mean of, or the mean, sorry, I think there was a typographical error. If the mean of M, N, S, P, and Q are the numbers given, 5 of them, the mean is what? 12. Calculate the mean of what? M minus 4, N minus 3, S minus 6, P minus 2, and what? Q minus 8. What will be the mean of this? Very simple. What they've told you is that M plus N plus S plus P plus Q over How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 items will be equal to what? 12. It means that m plus n plus s plus p plus q will be equal to 12 times 5. Meaning that m plus n plus s plus p plus q will be equal to 60. Will be equal to what? 60. So we are trying to find the mean of this. We are trying to find the mean of this. So the mean of this will be what? So mean, let me just call it new mean, will be equal to what? M minus 4 plus s plus n minus 3 plus s minus 6 plus s p minus 2 plus q minus 8. Everything, because of space, if this is not supposed to be what I will do, divided by what? 5 items. So I'll add them up. I'll have m plus n plus s plus p plus q. Now let's add these ones together. This is what? Minus 7, negative 13, negative 15, negative 23. So that will be minus 23 over 5. I seen it. Now, what is all of this? All of this will be what? 60. So this will be 60 minus 23 all over 5. What's 60 minus 23? That's what? 37 over 5. So the mean will be what? 37. Okay, if you check the question, I think there was a mistake somewhere. Now, if I go by what the solution that was done, it means that this is n plus 4. This is n plus 4. It doesn't matter if in the exam is minus, you work with minus, but you should be able to get the idea being used here. Now, this is also, by the solution, this is what? Plus 8. So maybe it's a typographical error, I don't know. Then I think the 6 also is what? Plus. So these ones are plus. So we'll just correct that. Plus 4, plus 6, and plus 8. So 4 plus 6 is what? 12. 12 plus 4 plus 8 is 12, plus 6 is 18. 18 minus 5 is what? 13. So this will be what? Plus 13. So that's the adjustment there. The adjustment is based on what I have seen in the solution. But if I had solved with the previous one, that's the answer I will get. So that will be 73 divided by 5. And that will be 14 whole number 3 over 5, which will be 14.6. So that's what the answer will be there. The mean of that figure will be 14.6. All right, that's for question A, 5A. Now, what about 5B? Let's look at what 5B would mean. Question 5B. Question 5B. Look at question 5B. In a community of question 5B, so for question 5B, in question 5B, we're going to have that in a community of 500 people, the 75th percentile age is what? 65 years. While the 25th percentile age is what? 15 years. How many people are between 15 and what? 65 years. All right. Now, number of people will be equal to 500. So it says that the 75 percentile age is what? 65. and the 25th percentile age is what? 15. Now, for how many people are between 15 and 65? So, for 75 percentile, this will be equal to what? 75 over 100 times what? 500. Forget about all the age, whatever. That's 375. For 25th percentile, the number of people will be what? 25 over 100 times 500 over 1. So when you do that, you're going to get 125. So how many people are between this age? So number of people between 15 years and 65 years will now be what? 375 minus 125, and that will be 250. So we have 250 people between that age margin. So that will help us answer question 5B. Let's go to question 6. Question 6 is testing your knowledge of sets. So I will not waste my time. I'll just go straight away to draw the set diagram. Now, in a roadworthiness test on 250 cars, 60% passed. Let's be careful here. This one might be a little tricky. 60% passed. 60% passed. The number that failed had faulty clutch, brakes, and steering as follows. So look at it now. Number of cars tested is equal to 240. Now, many students will not see this. Now, percentage passed will be equal to 60%. Therefore, percentage failed will be 100 minus 60, which is equal to 40%. Now, number of faulty let's call the number of faulty cars will now be equal to what? 40 over 100 times what? 240 over 1. So the number of cars we are concerned with is what? 96. So the universal set for this question is what? 96. And that is the first thing any sharp student should take note of. You see when they set your questions, they will twist, bring one from one area, bring to the other area. So you really need to read your questions very carefully. Now from this, we know that clutch is only, so number of C only. Okay, maybe I'll draw my Venn diagram from here now. I'll draw my diagram from here. So look at that. You have clutches, you have brakes, and you have steering. Now look at it. They said number of clutches only. Now remember that the universal set of this problem is 96. That will be the universal set, the total possibility of those, because the cars that have any of this problem are all going to be what? 96. All right. Now clutches only is what? 28. Clutches and steering. Clutches and steering. Clutches and steering. That's this one. So I'll put X here for all three. Will be what? Clutches and steering is 14. So 14 minus X. Now, steering and brake. Steering and brake. That will be 8 minus X. Clutches and brake. 20. Clutches and brake. That's what? 20. So 20 minus X. Now, another interesting thing you have here is that brakes and steering only. Brake and steering only is what? 6. Brakes and steering only is what? 6. So remember that we had what you steering and brake is what? So this part is 6 only, which means that 8 minus X will be equal to 6. Because that's an extra information given to you now. So it means that X will be equal to what? 8 minus 6, and that is 2. So X is 2. So I will now change this to 2. This will be 14 minus 2. This will become 12. Are you watching what I'm doing? 20 minus 2 will now become what? 18. And this will be what? 2. Right? Draw a Venn diagram to illustrate your diagram. Right? And that's what we have drawn there now. All right? How many cars are 40? We have done that. That's 96. X is 12. You see, that's why one has to be very careful with this thing. That means there is a question there that is quite... All right, let's take it again. Sometimes we set, maybe I should take it before I draw the diagram. There's an information there I did not take into consideration. So let me take it from the beginning again before I draw my diagram. All right. Clutches only, number of C only is equal to 28. If they put 8 there, that means that 8 is for clutches, steering, and brakes. Maybe that's what that one is. Because that's the only condition for which you will put 8 there. That's the only condition for which you are going to put 8 there. All right, no problem. Let's pick the details as they come. Now the last part says the number of cars with fault in steering only is twice the number of cars with fault on brake. Okay, that means it is the typing. So that's why you have to be very careful. I solved before based on the information I had there, but it's obvious that part of the information has been altered because I'm looking at their solution. The only way you can have 8 there is if it is only. You get it? And the only way you can have 6 in the other place if it is that and that only. So I'm going to use, okay, that is, let me draw the diagram again. And then make the relevant adjustments because this thing, some of these your answers are prone to errors. So, but I will solve around what I feel should be the right thing. Okay? So the universal set is what? 96, because the 40 cars are described around the universal set. I'm seeing them say the universal set is 240. No, that's not correct. The fault is prescribed around the universal set, and the universal set is focusing on the faults of this system. All right, clutches only is 28. We got that. Now, clutches and steering. Clutches and steering is 14. So the whole of this is 14. I'll take note of that. Now, clutches, okay, it was I who did not see it. So the fault is from me. Clutches, steering, and brake is 8. So 8, remove that, and you get clutches and steering. So this will now be what? 6. All right, so it was I who made that mistake. Now, clutches and brake. Clutches and brake is 20. 20 from 8 from 20 will give you what? 12 here, right? Okay, so it was I who made the mistake. Brakes and steering only. Brakes and steering only is what? 6. The number of cars with 40 steering only is 2 times this one. So if this is x, this will be what? 2x. All right. So that's what that will be. Now, draw the Venn diagram to illustrate this information. All right, so that's the Venn diagram there. How many cars had 40 brakes? How many cars had 40 brakes? It means calculate all of this. So how do you get that? You need to get x first. How many cars had 40 brakes? So we need to get this one first. How do you get this one? You add everything here. So 28 plus 12 plus x plus 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 2x is equal to 96. So so this will now give you 40 plus 3x plus 20 equal to 96, meaning that 3x is equal to 96 minus 60. I hope I'm right with that. And 3x will be equal to 36, x will be equal to 12. So x is 12. Now, if you watch in their diagram, they were talking about 144. Please don't bother yourself about that one. It's not your concern. The question doesn't even go in that direction. Now, number of cars with 40 brakes will now be everything here. So number of B, cars with 40 brakes will now be what? 12 plus x plus 8 plus 6, which will be 12 plus 12 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6. That will give you 24 plus 14, and that will be 38. That takes care of that. The next one is asking number of cars with only one fault. With only one fault. Where are the cars with only one fault? Here, here, and here. So number only one fault will be equal to 28 plus x plus 2x. That will be 28 plus what? What is x? X is 12 plus 2 times 12, which will give me 28 plus 36, and that will give me 54. So that answer is 54. That 64, sorry, 64, and that settles question 6. Are you seeing that? So that settles question 6. So, like I said, I made it a point of duty not to read the question before the exam so that I can solve and show you where you can make likely mistakes in the hall. And so as I'm making the mistakes, you are taking note of them so that when you're in the hall, you remember, oh, when my teacher was solving, he made a mistake here. So is it possible that I am making the same mistake? And you observe that you need to read your questions very, very well. If you don't read your questions very well, you will solve and finish it before you realize that you have solved OP. Right? So that's for question 6. So let's go to question 7. Find the equation of the line passing through 2, 5, and -4 and -7. So we say the equation of the line, question 7a. Now you have the points 2, 5, and what? -4, -7. Right? To get the equation of the line, you must first of all get what is called the slope. So slope is equal to m, and m is equal to what? What will m be equal to? M will be equal to change in y over change in x. So that will give me what? -7 minus 5 over -4 minus 2. That will give me -12 over -6, and that is 2. So the slope m is what? 2. The slope m is 2. So we can solve by using this first one. I like the approach they've used in the book, but me, I'll take a different approach. So using 2, 5, y minus 5 over x minus 2 will be equal to 2. So what does that mean? Y will be equal to what? Y minus 5 will be equal to 2 into x minus 2. So y minus 5 will be equal to 2x minus 4. Okay, so which we can finish up to get y is equal to 2x minus 4 plus 5. So y will be equal to 2x plus 1. So that will be the equation of the line for question 7a. Now what about 7b? In 7b, 3 shapes P, Q, R are what? At C. The bearing of Q from P. This is bearing, and it's been a long time I've seen questions in bearing. The bearing of Q from P. So I'll start with P at 30 degrees. The bearing of Q from P, this will be P. So wherever Q will be, this is 30 degrees. So this will be what? 60 degrees. Is that clear? And this one will be what? 30 degrees. Please, let's take note of that. Now, and the bearing of P from R. This is Q. The bearing of P from R is 300 degrees. The bearing of P from R is 300 degrees. So at some point, at some prescribed point, I know that this is where R will be because of the magnitude of the angle. So I'll read it like this. P from R is what? 300 degrees. So this is 300. So this angle here will be 60 degrees. Now, this one is 5 kilometers. And this one is what? 8 kilometers. So, don't worry about my diagram. Whether it matches well or not, doesn't matter. Now, this is 60. So this angle here will be what? 60. Are you watching me? Alternate angles. This angle here is 60. That's the angle to this where it ends there will be 60. So this one will now be 30. So this angle is 90 degrees. So we can use Pythagoras rule to solve this. We are told to find what? QR. So this is QR. So QR squared will be equal to what? 5 squared plus 8 squared. 25 plus 64. And QR will be equal to the square root of what? 89. So when you simplify that, you will get what QR would be. Now the next question now says, what is the bearing of R from Q? The bearing of R from Q. To get that angle, we need to get this one. This is the angle we need to get. How do we get that angle? This is already 90 degrees, so it's a very simple angle to get. It's a very simple angle to get. And in getting that one, you have to be careful, very careful how you have drawn your diagram. This angle is going to be 30 degrees. I hope you know. This angle here will be 30 degrees. So be very careful how you draw your this thing. So if the answer you get, by the answer you get here will determine what the angle is going to be. So we look at that. We need to get this angle first because it's the bearing of what? Arrow from where? Q. So we're going to measure the angle like this. I see that. I'm even thinking of something. Are you sure it is X we should be looking for? Are you sure it's X we should be looking for? I'm beginning to think that with the way the diagram is, I can use a different method to get my value. Instead of getting this angle, why don't I just get this angle? If I get this angle, because look at it. So this point, okay, let me see if that will help me. If that helps, okay, that does not help me. It doesn't help me. So I will leave this one. It doesn't help me. Sorry about that. It doesn't help me. So I won't bother about that. So this angle will be the best. And these are some of the decisions you have to make in the hall. All right. So it means that X tan X will be equal to what? 5 over 8. Meaning that X will be equal to tan inverse. What's 5 over 8? 0.625. So at this point, I'll get my 4-figure table. At this point, I'll get my 4-figure table and I'll look for where I have 0.625 under tan. 0.625. I'll go to tan and look for 0.625. And that is what that will be 32 degrees. So that's approximately 32 degrees. That's approximately what? 32 degrees, right? So it means that this angle is 32 degrees. This angle is what? 32 degrees here. So if this angle is 32 degrees, this one is 30, it would mean that if this angle is 32 degrees, it would mean that trying to check something. Where did I get this 60 from? Okay, so this, okay, sorry, all right. I think I get it now. Let me leave this 60 first so that it doesn't cause problem for me. Fine. So 32 degrees. It will mean that the angle here, try to check something. It's like I've missed an idea here. I have missed an idea here. Okay, I've gotten this angle. All right. I want to use a method I'm comfortable with. All right, so 90 plus X plus Q. The angle at Q will be equal to 180 degrees. What's the reason? Angle sum of triangle. Because I'm thinking that my approach is better for me. And that's why you use an approach that's convenient for you. I've gotten this angle, but it will help me get this one. Maybe that's why I was thinking of getting this angle from the beginning, because this would have helped my work better. Thinking would have helped my work better. All right. So what is the whole of this angle now? Q X will be equal to is that X now? Angle Q will be equal to 180 minus 90 minus 32, which will mean that that will mean 90 minus 32, and that will give me 58 degrees. So the whole of this angle is 58 degrees. The whole of that angle will be 58 degrees. So the bearing of P of arrow from Q would that be equal to the whole of this angle here from here to this point is what? 180, 210. That will be 210 minus, what's the whole of this angle here? 58. And that will give me 152 degrees. Are you seeing it? I think got the same answer because I know what I'm doing. See what I did? The whole of this angle here is 58 degrees. Now, from here to this point will be what? 210 degrees. I will now remove this one, which is 58 from it, and I'm going to get what? 152. So with the same method they have used, I've gotten that answer. But I will also still try and solve again and see if I can get an easier method for you that will help out in solving that problem. So that's for question 7B. All right, I will leave you to rest now because I know that a lot of us have had a very busy day. I've already seen some of us struggling with the is it that sleep is controlling some of us? So I will allow us rest, and then we'll continue tomorrow. From question, by God's grace, I'll try to start on time. I think this 8 o'clock thing is what is really disturbing a number of us. So I'll try to be early tomorrow and see what would happen. All right. So I'll release you now to go and rest.